Shadows Chase You Endlessly is one of the weirdest maps for me. It's a 2-base map, and it also starts you out with a black boat. But I've always found that the black boat doesn't normally do too much aside from potentially blocking your opponent from capturing the airports. But even then, there's 2 passageways. So I guess another thing the black boat can do is block the harbor from being taken. Force your opponent to build an artillery to get out. That's something that you can do. But I've always struggled on this map, trying to figure out how to get a good opening on it. And that's a thing that typically happens when it comes to 2-base maps. You can struggle with it sometimes. However, when it comes to this map in particular, there are so many properties on it. Kindle will have a field day on this map. And she does have a field day on this map. Each player can easily have over 25k funds going in per turn. And in this matchup, that's exactly what happens. We both get over 25k going in per turn. It is nuts. So, as you can see, I'm playing as Jess here. And my opponent, Jax Raptor, is playing as Sonya. So, and here's the funny thing. This was a tier 1 match. Meaning that we had access to Max, we had access to Von Bolt, we had access to, I wish Hachi, but we had access to Hawk. We had access to a lot of good COs. Olaf, Kindle, we had access to all of them. Yet, both of us chose tier 4 COs. That being Jess and Sonya. And when it comes to Jax Raptor, and I actually looked this guy up on his profile. He has played so many games as Sonya, to the point where Sonya has a ridiculous number of games played, and then the second CO only has below 10 games played. This guy plays Sonya and only Sonya. And here's the thing. This guy has a rating of over 1,000. And I have never hit that mark before. I have never hit 1,000 MR. The most I've hit is 950. And I've never been able to get past that. So, let's talk about the COs. Jess, coming from Green Earth, she is the Landmaster. Not that one. This ain't Star Fox. But she is a pro when it comes to land battles. So all her tanks get increase in firepower, all her indirects get increase in firepower, her artillery and rockets. And whenever she pops her powers, Turbocharge is a fantastic regular power. All of her landbound units, which gets a 10% increase in firepower already, which is not so bad. That's pretty good. They get increased to 130% firepower and gets all their ammo and fuel resupplied. Overdrive, another fantastic superpower, bumps that up to 150%. So when it comes to Jess, she has options when it comes to direct combat and indirect combat. However, the drawback with Jess is that every other unit that she doesn't specialize in gets a minus 10% decrease in firepower, and that includes foot soldiers. So your infantry and mechs, they're going to deal 90% firepower. That is the biggest drawback to Jess. But then you have Sonya, Combai's daughter from Gold Comet, Yellow Comet, whichever comet you're more familiar with. I'm more familiar with Gold Comet, so I'm going to say Gold. Sonya is a tactician within Gold Comet, and her day-to-day is a bit odd. She's a little bit like Flak, to where she has bad luck. But this also plays into her character a little bit because she's all about precise things. So her minus attack power and her luck, that'll get canceled out by her actual luck damage. So say that anti-air going up against infantry will deal 80%. Normally luck damage shall get you like maybe 90% damage when it's a base 80. But with the bad luck taken into account, you have a good chance of dealing the 80% and only the 80%. Granted, you can actually deal less than 80, but both the luck and the unluck, they'll cancel each other out. So that's actually kind of neat when it comes to Sonya. Another thing about Sonya is she has the best, she potentially has the best attack power in the entire game, only because of her counterattack. Whenever she counterattacks, her units will deal 1.5% damage back, 150% damage. So, and this ties in with her superpower, Counter Break. What Counter Break actually does is any opponent that is attacking her, typically they will get the first strike. Sonya breaks that rule. Her units will attack first before your units can even fire off a single shot. And that goes for any interaction except for indirect combat. That's the only way that you can have a good interaction with Sonya when Counter Break is active. You come in with a bomber getting the anti-air, your bomber is gone. You come in with fighters, your fighter could potentially be gone. So it's like, and unless if you're attacking like a cruiser to a fighter, or a fighter to a battlecopter, something that can't attack back, or indirects, Sonya can and will ruin you if you don't play carefully. Anyway, let's go get started on this match. Right. And just like any other match, oh, hi Black Boat. Just like any other match, it just begins with the infantry. Hi Black Boat, again. And with Jax Raptor being the second player, he's going to get a infantry for free. And immediately he's gunning it to the airport. He's not even going to stop to get to the city, which is actually a good play. It's a very good play. And I think around this time I messaged him because like I said, this is a tier 1 match, and I was like, so any particular reason why you're going Sonya? Like, is it because of the minus luck? Is it because of the counter break? And this guy replied, for the country. I wish I kept talking to him after that, because that guy seems like a fun dude. So, and this is what I said earlier, this is basically the most you can do with your Black Boat, is potentially block him. So if he were to go right here, my Black Boat would be here. If he were to go, over here, my Black Boat would go right here. But this way, I can at least ensure that it takes another turn for him to actually get anywhere. And he's going to do the same exact thing with me. So, that's basically all I can find uses for Black Boats for on this map. Why is there a Black Boat on this map? So, and another thing that you get to see, the first difference here, I'm immediately going for the city. My opponent is not going for the city. He's immediately going towards the center. Which, how heavily contested the center is, okay. I somewhat understand it, but please don't city skip. That is income, and you need income. Now, he gets a city. Let's just skip to when the first vehicle comes out. Oh, and both of us are starting to get our airport right then and there. Forward. And then he actually does stuff with his black boat. I don't. I don't get what you can do with the black boat on this map. I'm sorry, I really don't. I do not think the black boat is a good inclusion on this map. I'm gonna be honest. Aside from the very beginning. And here, so instead of tank, I get anti-air out. So because I'm like, okay, I played this map a bunch of times. I'm always getting swarmed in by helicopters. And maybe the bomber here and there. I'm gonna get my anti-air out right here and now. And he ends up seeing this. And he builds a tank. And you might think that this tank will go down here. No, actually. We want to see what he does with this tank, actually. Because I immediately bring my anti-air up north. And of course, I build my first tank. Jess and Takes. Like, they're a lovely pair. Yeah, and already, like, he's taking the middle. And he sends his tank up north. So already, this anti-air can't do anything, because this tank covers both of them. So I'm forced to retreat with the tank. Or with my anti-air. Not without taking the city, though. So my infantry are starting to get the properties on the far north and the far south on my side. And I have the black boat. I might as well refuel it. I might as well do something with it. Yep, and he goes and brings down his tank. That tank is basically going to follow my anti-air for quite a bit. It's annoying, but that's what's going to happen. And already, the very first battlecopter. Alright, so first engagement with infantry, and I'm already taking that city back. I'm like, this is my city. No, you stay on your side. I don't care if you got 1800, I want my 17. And I'm going to be getting my comm tower too. Just having a comm tower is very important for her because it'll allow her to get to that 120% domain threshold. So any opposing tanks on cities are no longer safe. Max, of course, has that naturally. Yep, and they're also getting their comm tower, and it's already too late for this, but this doesn't stop the battlecopter from harassing my infantry. And immediately, they're going to send the tank right back up. Try to cover the battlecopter, which, that's a smart move. That truly is. And here's that. He's going scorched earth on this infantry, because this infantry is, like, basically gone. It's over on my side, and it's not going to happen. So I see that, and I'm like, okay, I'll do the same thing with this infantry up here. After, of course, I get all my properties. That infantry's gone now. So he comes in with a second battlecopter. My anti-air's a little bit forced to come up here. But I make sure to keep it out of range of that tank. I don't care if it's a tank that has minus luck on it, potentially. It's not going anywhere near my anti-air. And they went Scorched Earth. I'm gonna go Scorched Earth. On my side, you can't see Sonya's health because she will hide her unit's health. And it's very annoying half the time. Oh, and I get my first battlecopter. Okay, sweet. However, when it's Sonya's turn, you can actually see her health. And Sonya's already up to 20,000 K. And she has her comm tower, so now all her units are going to deal 10% more, which, oh boy. Yep, and then my infantry is gone. But at the same time, hers is as well. So we're 1-1 when it comes to infantry losses. And again, I can't do anything with this tank in the way. So my anti-air is basically just running around in circles. But she just now, Sonya just now built her anti-air. Meaning that my battlecopter has a little bit of time to start harassing stuff. And harass it does. So now I'm going to get these 2 properties down here along with the property next to the harbor. And that'll bring me up to 23 next turn. And this was a bit of a stupid move on my end, I will admit. Because I feel confident I had 3 tanks in the area and then potentially a 4th one. So this is what we call a Mang's infantry. You don't want that. I'm coming up with the second battlecopter. This is what you call a me tank. You don't want me tank. Yeah, because with the battlecopter here, that's not going to do too much. I'll take comfort in knowing that I'll have the superior firepower in any engagements that happen, but that's the only thing that's going to come out from that. Because they're still going to get the first strike, and that battlecopter, it can and will do stuff. Yep, and then their so they pulled their anti-air back over here to cover this infantry, which, okay, I can see that. I can see that. I'm up to 23,000, and then Jax is up to 22,000. It's like, okay, you're going to do something with my infantry. I'm going to do stuff to your infantry. Bye-bye. Yep, and that infantry is now dead, and oh my goodness. I almost lost my tank because of that. But I get to take out Jax's tank because my tanks get 120% firepower right now. I got max tanks. So, and this right here, I am getting a little bit ballsy with my move, but this tank can't cover, this tank can't strike any of my stuff. Aside from this 1 HP tank, but that tank is basically gone. This tank isn't a threat to me right now. This tank, if it wants to go after my anti-air, Jax is going to lose that tank. Because I have 4 tanks surrounding this one. And knowing that I have a little bit of an upper hand, I go ahead and build artillery. However, you see, I don't have an upper hand. Battlecopter, and then a medium tank. I did not see this at all until their next turn. So, I finally take notice of the medium tank. I was like, oh god, what have I done? So, yeah, but they used their tank to interrupt the capture, which, thank you? And then third battlecopter, and then a recon for some strange reason. Yeah, but look at my funds, though. I have 30,000 in the bank. So, and here, I'm popping the turbocharge. Except, I will admit, this one is a bit of a defensive turbocharge. So there wasn't exactly a whole lot I can do, but I wanted that defense because my anti-air was spare. I want to make sure it stays that way. So I got quite a bit of a wall here. And this wall has, like, any of those tanks get struck, they're going to strike back with 140% firepower. That's deadly. Also, first Neo tank out on the field. This feels like a high funds match. Like, it really does. It's nuts. Like, just how many properties are in this match. So, Battlecopter comes in, tank number 1. 6 HP tank takes a HP off of a Battlecopter. God dang, Jess. And 1%. Oh, you hate to see it. Actually, hang on. Well, let me see what the move calculator is on that. So, 41 to 55, that's not bad. And then, if we do it again, 43 to 58. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad luck. You hate to see it. I am so sorry. But look at what Jax here is doing. Systematically taking my tanks out, but not taking out the anti-air. That's a big mistake. Never mind. And see, look at this engagement. 6 HP tank takes 5 health. Granted, it's on a road, but 5 health. That's how dangerous Jess can be. And they're doing this for a reason. Counter Break is now active. And a Neo tank, an opposing Neo tank is on the field now. So each side has 1 Neo tank. Lovely. So I see this and I'm like, oh god, I don't know what happened. But what I do know is this Battlecopter can be shot down. And I'm going to do it. Yes, the Battlecopter will strike first, but anti-air can and will do the job. So, I have no idea how much damage that did. I want to be completely honest. Battlecopters against medium tanks are a good answer to that, but just with like minus 10% on Battlecopters against a city, or not against a city, a medium tank sitting on a city, it's only going to do like 20% damage, I'm pretty sure. But I got 2 on the field, so there's that. Oh god. Yep, question marks are happening on the replay viewer. So, you see, I have a Neo tank, and yeah, it's covering quite a bit. Sonya has a Neo tank, and yeah, it can go into front lines fairly quickly. My tank is only like 3 tiles away. I am getting 24k per turn. My opponent is getting 25k per turn. I have 30,000 in the bank. My opponent only has 2,000. So, and this is a big gamble, but no other commander is able to utilize these particular units better than Jess. After all, Jess can resupply mega tanks with her power. That's right, we got mega tanks in competitive play. I want to know just what was going through Jax's head when they saw the mega tank. Oh, but one of my tanks falls, and then one of my battlecopters fall, and then one of my tanks get crippled. Is that 4? That was 3. Okay. I thought my Neo tank took 4 HP off. But yeah, my units are getting wiped. Yeah, and they built artillery, battlecopter, and then infantry. But so far, like the thing with not Neo tanks, the Mega tanks, they're slow. They only got 4 movement, but they run on treads. Thankfully, this isn't a missile situation. But with this map being so small horizontally, and with everything happening in the direct middle, where your HQ can serve as a healing point and still be considered on the front lines, this Mega tank, it's not going to take very long to get on the front lines. Like, it'll take the same amount of time for a regular tank or a Neo tank, and they have 6 movement. Like 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this right here, this infantry, is basically marking, like, my front lines. But with Jess, her turbocharge will give +1 movement to any vehicles. So this Mega tank can suddenly move 5. And this is the beauty of turbocharge. Such a good power. I love it. That artillery, even though you can't quite see it, I believe this thing did 90 damage to it. Yeah, 98 to 107. So I got slightly unlucky with it. But 3 HP anti-air did some amount of damage to it. But it was more than enough for one of my battlecopters to take it down. And we'll see what all the damage values is. Like, doing replay viewer against, like, Sonya is weird. Like, fairly weird. Like, it doesn't show everything when you think it would. And with the Mega tank, I'm more than confident in going into Jax's property here. So, and 26k. My goodness. So that's quickly going to come down to 25 as Jax is taking my property. Basically what this map goes to is the left player will get the top island because they get that airport, and the right player will get the bottom island. So that's pretty much how it goes to. Yep, and then Jax, like, there's only 2 reliable answers to Mega tanks. Is a bomber, which that takes 3 interactions in order to kill, or another Mega tank. And that's exactly what Jax got, was another Mega tank. So suddenly, this match devolved into whoever loses their Mega tank first loses. So 4 HP did something. 9 HP destroyed it. I really wish I was able to see the values on this. Like, I really do. But my artillery is here, and it's covering quite a bit, actually. So this medium tank, if it's going to come and finish off the Neo tank, it's going to get blasted by artillery. Not only that, but this this Mega Tank is actually covering quite a bit here. It's already on the front lines, and it just took the one single turn. Jess has movement potential. Sonya does not. And I see the Mega Tank coming, and it's like, I'm not going to have my Mega Tank go up against that. No way. So I build a bomber. I want the bomber to do something to it first before my Mega Tank actually does something. I don't want a single scratch on it. So right now, I'm basically just hunkering up. That's basically all it is that's happening. And I'm down to 21 troops. Like, Jax is down to 19. But with the Mega Tanks in play, and both of us have a Neo Tank, who knows what's going to happen? Because this match can go definitely like either way. Another battlecopter. Jax loves his battlecopters. I swear he took out like 10 of them. But my bomber's coming into play. And this is just a little bit of repositioning here. Get both of my artillery to cover stuff. And one of the more reliable ways of dealing with a bomber is to get a fighter. Jax has not done that yet. So my bomber is pretty much able to roam free at the moment. However, look at what he's doing. He's overextending a little bit. And there comes the fighter. But he overextended a little bit and basically just threw away some of his troops. And he also shifted his entire army to the north. He sees that I have turbocharge, and he notes that I'm able to do quite a bit with it. Especially when he doesn't have counterbreak ready. So, artillery on the bottom is taking out that tank. Artillery is taking out the infantry. And this is my city. Get out of there. Get out of there, please. That's my property. That tank, too. Get out of there, please. I said get out. And I wanted to have fun with the Mega Tank. I'm going to let it have one of it. I'm going to let it have a shot. I bought it. I'm going to let it do it. And just because I don't like the black boats on this map, yeah, goodbye. And so, I got anti-air out, but it can't chase down the fighter. The only thing that can chase down the fighter is another fighter. And this is my condition. I have a Mega Tank, I have a Neo Tank that's healing, and almost fully healed actually, and I have a bomber. If any of these three units die, I'm going to have a really hard time pulling this back through. Because again, this might be Sonya, but this is a 1,000 plus rated player. And I never got to quad digits. Let's see here. "110% battlecopter go up against a tank on it, so it only deal 3% damage. That's incredible." But you see here, he extended into my base heavily. And he also built a bomber. But he's not advancing with the Mega Tank, because my Mega Tank is here. If he were to put his Mega Tank anywhere in vicinity of mine, yes, I'm going to pounce, especially with this bomber in place. I don't care if the fighter is there. Like, if that bomber gets to do it, the only, like, there's one job this bomber has, and it's to get a single strike on this Mega Tank, so that my Mega Tank can come and finish it off. That is the only thing that bomber has going for it right now. Because, again, like I said before, land units are my thing. And I'm not talking about jets, I'm talking about me personally. Land units are, like, my specialty, with a healthy dose of naval. When it comes to aerial units, I struggle. However, in here, he's overextending to my base, so I'm going to threaten these two properties, as basically just let them wide open for me. That's one of the things that you don't want to do, is leave properties open for your opponent. And right here, you might, and just take a look at the screen. You saw that overdrive was popped, but what can I do with overdrive, of all things? Well, this bomber here covers 3 things. This Neo tank has 6 movement. This one has 4 movement. There's not exactly a whole lot that you can do. And, like, just looking at this right now. Except for one thing. This infantry is the only thing covering this, like, my Mega Tank to get into this Neo tank. And bombers, they're only going to deal 3 HP of damage to a Mega Tank, like when it's on a city. Planes, yeah, sure, I might add another one, but that's nothing I can't repair. And it's going to get repaired before my opponent's Mega Tank even reaches the front line, because Sonya doesn't get movement increase, Jess does. And that is exactly what's getting ready to happen right here. Neo Tank comes in and systematically takes out this artillery. And with the Mega Tank close by, you think this is, like, horrendous to do, but look, there's forest tiles in the way. And when it comes to treads, they take 2 movement. This Mega Tank can't get anywhere near it. And yeah, it's in range of the bomber, but I have anti-air in the vicinity. I have a fighter in the vicinity. And then this infantry falls, and my Mega Tank takes out the Neo Tank. Suddenly, all the offensive force that Jax has is starting to crumble. Especially when the main, like, the biggest bulk is in their 2 bases, in the airport and right by the HQ. And they can't do anything next turn. So I see this and I'm like, okay, I know I'm extending quite a bit in here. I'm going to bring my artillery in here to cover it. Meanwhile, I'm going to bring this artillery back to the base, get it repaired, and I'm just going to start pumping out medium tanks to try and deal with this one. Because when this tank is over and dealt with, the only thing left standing is the opposing Mega Tank and the bomber. This fighter, it's not going to do too much. Sure, it might knock down a battlecopter, but I'm going to keep my bomber away from it. It's more than welcome to go after a battlecopter. So, but with one of the shortest bars in the entire game, counter break. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It can even go on this 4 style. That's how bad of movement the Like, Sonya cannot do very well with the Mega Tanks. Like, she is not a good CO for him. But Jax here is forced to retreat up into North Island. And Jax, knowing that I would pounce on that bomber right then and there with my fighter, doesn't go after either of these two tanks. Like, both my Neo Tank and my Mega Tank are safe from that bomber for this turn. He took his infantry and fired on my artillery. That was cute. But Jax made a horrendous mistake. He placed his fighter in range of my anti-air. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take out his anti-air with my Neo Tank, because what is anti-air going to do to a Neo Tank? Even if it fired first, with 150% increase, or 160% firepower. What's that going to do against a Neo Tank on a city? So, and there goes the infantry, and I looked it up. That thing did 3 HP of damage. That fighter is next to useless now. So knowing that, I'm comfortable with placing my bomber in range of the fighter. Except I don't think it is in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it is in range. Okay. It just had to go through a bunch of stuff, but it's definitely in range. But I'm still comfortable doing that, because that fighter can scratch the bomber. That's all it's going to be able to do. And right here, you're going to start seeing Jax's troop number go down, and mine stay like relatively where it's at, because Battlecopters, they're free to roam now. Because see, even down on my airport, you see that I have a Battlecopter coming in. But this was a big desperation move. Jax's bomber coming in and attacking my Neo Tank. That was a big desperation move. Jess might have minus 10% firepower on her fighter, but I have a comm tower. Fighters deal 100% damage normally to a bomber. This bomber's dead. Like next turn. And still, this Mega Tank, it's not even going to come close to mine, because whoever gets the first strike on the Mega Tanks, they win. And this is the turn that makes or breaks the game. My Battlecopter comes in, it's going to take out that tank. My 4 HP anti-air comes in to finish off the fighter. It's gone. Second Battlecopter comes in, finishes off that tank. 20 troops, now down to 18 troops. Infantry, gone. 17. Infantry, gone with the medium tank. 16. Infantry gone with the artillery. 15. Mega Tank comes in. It wants some action. Infantry gone. 14. Fighter comes in against a bomber. 13 troops left. And right here I would pop turbocharge. Bomber comes in. There's nothing that will oppose it. 12 troops. Infantry is going to come in. It's going to start frightening that city again. Neo Tank comes in. It doesn't care that it's 4 HP. There's a anti-air here. I'm not going to let it keep going. With the combined efforts of the 4 HP Neo Tank and a full health tank with turbocharge, 11 troops remain. And these battlecopters are free to do whatever they want. This bomber is free to do whatever it wants. This fighter will ensure that this bomber will stay alive. Like if Jax dares to get another fighter. The infantry starting to threaten that city. Tank comes in, perfectly out of range of the artillery here. And then I start sending a small force up north to try to wrestle this island away from Jax. With 11 troops against 25, I am trying to spread him thin to a point where I can systematically take out every single bit. And yeah, he does have quite a bit of income to play around with, but what are you going to do with a mega tank in the middle, 2 battlecopters here in the south, to where you're forced to buy anti-air here? And at that point, the tanks are going to roll in, and the artillery is going to get placement, and the mega tank, it has options. It can go like in the middle here, or it can go down south to assist. And there's already a 3rd battlecopter coming in. This base will have to build the anti-air in order to do something. And these 2 cities are going to be mine next turn, no matter what. Meanwhile, this bomber is going to take out that medium tank with my own medium tank coming in. And I build another Neo tank. Why not? I got the funds for it. I'm certainly ahead. I'm going to keep up the pressure. And if I'm going to wrestle away this island, I need infantry. There's an infantry. And Jax resigned. Yeah. This game was rough. Like, my goodness. Never underestimate Jess. Like, never underestimate her. Because naval units and aerial units and her foot soldiers having minus 10%. Like, the aerial and naval, okay, fine. Like, the infantry hurts a lot. But I'm actually used to that. I started playing this game with the reboot. And one of the COs that I played a lot was Colin for a bit, before I switched over to Clone Andy. And I've gotten used to playing with 90% firepower on everything, just because of Colin. I love that little guy. Power of Money is so freaking funny. I guess I need to start playing Jess more. Jess is going to be my main CO going on from now on. I've already played like over 100 games with Jess, but I think this cements it. Like, being able to beat a 1,000+ rated player on a character that they actually play with. Like, you can make the argument, it's Sonya. Sonya's bad. You can make that argument. But if played correctly, any type of CO will be good in the right hands. Like, look at Grim. There's alternate accounts just for Grim, and they do wonders with that guy. Why can't the same be said with Sonya? This guy's certainly proving it. But anyway, Jax. Incredible game. Like, I genuinely thought I was going to lose this, but you show me quite a bit that I can do with Jess. And you give me a newfound respect for Sonya, too. Because I've always looked at Sonya as like, okay, Fog of War. Like, I never thought that Sonya was bad, but with her biggest thing being Fog of War, and her being, like, defensive isn't exactly my type half the time with this game. But I've certainly found a new respect for Sonya, like, after this game. But again, thank you for this game. but I've actually had a lot of fun with this.